Dr. Berger in episode 18, a doctor who has worked at Heartland for many years, came out of dental school and he was surprised at how much debt he had racked up. Stay tuned. So you're in Arizona, you go to dental school and you finish up there. Were you in quite a bit of debt at that point, or what was the landscape of dental school at that time?
The debt question comes up. Heck yeah, man. I had to take out the full amount because I didn't have a job at the time. I mean, I gave up my career to go be a full-time student. So I paid the $56,000 in tuition using Fed loan or one of the private loans that you get. I also had to take out money for living expenses. My wife needed to find a job in Arizona. So took out the full amount all 4 years, man. And just to be transparent, because I know there's a lot of dentists that are going to be listening to this, I graduated with $399,000 in debt. And
So
each
four,
day
so
after
400,
that,
400K in debt.
even, man.
Yeah.
And the day I graduated, they gave you a letter, literally in an envelope, to each student. And it showed you what your debt was and how much the interest was that had accrued over those 4 years, which was $60,000 in interest that had accrued from the first one.
Why you're going to school? Wow.
Yeah. So they handed me a $460,000 bill that I had to sign, that I understood that I would be responsible for that. So yeah,
your
man,
final bill, just so we're on the same page, your final bill was 460. So it was 400 plus the 60 in interest.
That's correct. It was 461
Wow.
When I graduated. I paid monthly payments, like $2,000 a month for 2 straight years, every single month for 2 years. And at the end of those 2 years, I was at 460 because I was literally only paying the interest for those 2 years.
Yeah.
So I was like, babe, can you believe we literally paid payments to not make it go up further or to go down lower? We just literally man, that is so crazy to me. But that's what I had to do, man. That was my story. That was the cards that I was dealt.
My friend and mentor, D. Fischer, I'm sure you know who she is. You're going to really enjoy this clip from episode 19, where she gives us a peek inside of why you should start speaking last and not first if you're a leader. Most of the people I work with are good people. They want their team to win. They want to win, but that alignment doesn't happen. And so it doesn't happen. What's preventing them from kind of hearing what's going on or listening the right way?
So I always tell everybody, when you are going into a meeting, you as the leader speak last. You have to listen first. And if you can develop that skill, and sometimes it's hard, if you can develop that skill, you are listening. And while you're listening, you're actively engaged. You don't have a cell phone going off. You're looking at that person and you're really taking it in. And I also think a good listener repeats back what they heard. Because we want to make sure because we all have different perspectives, correct? So my 2 things that I say is speak last, repeat back, and get the confirmation that you really heard what they said. And all of a sudden, Gary, it's funny. It's like, okay, we have spouses, and my spouse knows when I'm really listening and when I'm not. It's just part of the game. So really hone in on that and that's a trick. And it's not easy. It's like you got to really speak last.